So guys, and less than 5 kilometers remain for the Ukrainian soldiers to encircle Russian troops in Kursk region of the Russian Federation on the banks of the beautiful river SEYM. I already love this river, and this is indeed a brilliant strategy that will provide Ukraine with more Russian prisoners of war whom we can later exchange for the Ukrainian heroes who are now in the Russian captivity. To tell you the truth, now Ukrainian Facebook, Twitter is full of the interviews with Russian soldiers caught in Kursk region and brought to Ukraine, definitely a scenario they did not expect. And they are extremely demoralized, and I think not because of this captivity, but actually because of the Russia's attitude to them, and many of them address their comrades in the Russian army, advising them to give up, the sooner the better. Definitely that's a good advice, even if from a Russian soldier. So let me tell you more about this brilliant encirclement plan, and hopefully the days to come will provide us with 3,000 Russian prisoners. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see more of the Russian territories liberated and the Kremlin defeated, subscribe and please share the videos that you consider interesting. That's important. So, of course, we all follow the updates of the special military operation of the Ukrainian armed forces in Kursk region. Something that seemed totally unbelievable from the interview of the General Syrsky. We know this is not the first operation he planned on the side of Russia to create a buffer zone, but the first one was revealed by spies, the second one was banned by our allies, the thing I don't understand, and the third one was kept in super extreme secrecy, and the results are amazing. We continue advancing. I know we don't plan to move up to Moscow, not this time. We expand across the border because we need to create a buffer zone and protect more of the Ukrainian territories. You know that regions like Sumy, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Luhansk, Mykolaiv, Zaporizhia, they constantly suffer from Russian missiles and sometimes even artillery. And this buffering zone will definitely save lives, buildings, infrastructure, and our spirits. But there are other important strategies that are applied during the Kursk operation of the Ukrainian armed forces, and definitely the planned encirclement of the Russian troops on the banks of the river SEYM is one of the best. Fortunately, now we have the satellite images, and despite Russian propaganda pretends nothing is happening, when Chechen soldiers continue filming TikTok videos, shooting empty forests, Ukrainian soldiers continue to advance, almost 100 settlements already under our control. But one of the most important operations takes place on the banks of the river SEYM. In our previous videos, I happily reported the destruction of 2 bridges across river SEYM in one region, which is under the control of the Ukrainian army. And today there were reports that another military pontoon crossing was destroyed too. That's not a bridge, but a specific construction that still may back up the logistics of the Russian army, and it also disappeared. So it looks like Russian troops are closer and closer to the very serious situation where they will have either to flee, very typical Russian behavior. We see that because actually the police, in Russia it's called militia, disappeared from Kursk region. FSB disappeared from Kursk region. So maybe these troops will start escaping, but that will be difficult. And very likely more than 2,000-3,000 Russian soldiers may be encircled on the banks of this same river. Subscribe to see Russia defeated, and please share my vlogs on your social media because the world needs to know more about the Ukrainian fight for freedom and security on this planet. So this strategy to destroy bridges work well because of course, Russia did not expect the Ukrainian counter-offensive on its own territory, on the territory of Russia, and they were not prepared to protect these lands. And also, our troops planned this operation really well, taking into account the landscapes around. And there are lots of natural objects that can be perfect borders, like this SEYM river. By the way, SEYM river also runs across Ukraine, and in Chernihiv region, I personally swam in this beautiful river. It was like 8 years ago. I did not expect this will be a historically important river, but I definitely like it. So the destruction of 2 bridges and other constructions across SEYM demonstrate the plan of the Ukrainian armed forces, and it's not that I'm revealing secret information, because Bild and New York Times have already reported about this. And actually, in the dynamics of war, without the serious backup from the rest of the Russian army, not much they can do. One good news for these evil Russians is that Ukrainians are humane, Ukrainians follow the rules of war, and we will not commit all those war crimes that they did in Ukraine. By the way, you can clearly see the difference when Ukraine was occupied by Russian troops at the very first weeks, and how Russian civilians and even Russian prisoners of war feel under the Ukrainian army control. Very different. They remain treated, they are treated normal, like human beings, and I'm proud that after years of such violence, we are definitely much healthier psychologically, spiritually than Russians. Speaking about spirituality, they will try to manipulate and pretend that Ukraine bans churches or bans Christianity, because we have a law that forbids Moscow Orthodox Church operations on the territory of Ukraine. Believe me, Moscow Orthodox Church is not a Christian Orthodox Church. This is a political organization run by a KGB officer, Kirill. They demonstrate total disrespect to the independence and sovereignty of many countries. They deny the existence of a separate language and culture of Ukraine, and they actually supplied with weapons and money Russian soldiers on the temporarily occupied territories. Often were guilty for the capturing and execution of Ukrainian activists and patriots and defenders, especially on the temporarily occupied territories. They deny the war, and they say this is a God's punishment for Ukrainians for their love of West, and the hand of Russia needs to beat us. Definitely, that's not the way I see Christianity. And in contrast to Russia, that is torn by alcoholism, hatred, Ukraine is actually a very Christian country. I hope that after we win, you will be able to come and see how many churches we have, how seriously people follow these rules, visit churches, services every Sunday, and it is actually very contrasting from many of the EU countries. I'd say maybe we are among the top religious and actively practicing Christian values countries in Europe in general. So hopefully Kursk operation will continue. This chaos, indecisiveness inside Russia demonstrated they are vulnerable, they are weak, and they are classical bullies. Bullies can only beat you and cause you troubles if you do not respond properly. And we know how to respond properly. Please do not stop us. I hate it when some of our partners expect that Ukraine will only constantly protect territories with air defense, and that's the only strategy. You cannot win by simply shooting down Russian missiles when North Korea supplies them with like millions artillery shells per month. So the task is to stop Russia, and to stop Russia we need to defeat it, and it seems like the process has started. Let me know what are the other topics you would like to discuss on the channel. Join me on Instagram, X, Threads and Discord. Check our merch shop. We have a new beautiful independence collection, and I hope this t-shirts and sweatshirts and caps can help you start important conversations about Ukraine and remind people in your countries about Ukrainian fight and resilience. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and helping me film and write more. It's an honor and privilege to have you in my life. I value our friendship and our YouTube family. But most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!